because I want to hear what the intellectual Sergi has to say. Sergi, how are you doing today?
I'm doing well. How are you doing?
I'm well. You ready for us to get into these questions, Sergi?
Sure.
Okay. And listen to the women in here that are my age. I need if you have live access, I need y'all to request too because you know, y'all are the ones that are on social media really popping all this stuff that we talking about. So I want to know what y'all really. I want to know how y'all really feel. Don't be scared. Tap that screen, y'all. Tap the screen and share the live. Okay, Sergi. So let's get into these questions. Would you be receptive to a man meeting you in the Popeyes parking lot to eat and have discussion in the car for a first date? Why or why not?
Um, yes, because I like fried chicken. I'm okay with the short, simple, cheap dates because I mean it doesn't mean that you never do the expensive, um, you know, um, fancy, those types of they can happen too. But I think none of us are out there going to the expensive restaurants, even if that's what we do. We don't do it all the time. So yeah, we can do a little cheap little fried chicken. That's cool. I mean that's how it is when you actually get married. Like I don't know who all has actually been married before. I have. We're not going out to the expensive restaurants all the time. Sometimes you just want to chill, get you a pizza, get you some beer, and relax. It doesn't have to be extra all the time. Even if you got money, it ain't got to be extra all the time. And if you got money, you ain't trying to spend it all on food all the time. So come on.
But Sergi, this is the thing
Mhm.
though. First of all, people in the comments, someone in the comments said, "Girl, bye." Someone in the comments
Girl,
said, "No."
hello.
But see, that's what I'm talking about. Thank you, Tai. But Sergi, that's the thing though. A lot of most people, as much as these women want to think that they're gonna be with a man that can, they can go do a steak dinner every week or they can go do a hibachi every week. That's not even a reality for most people. Most people that going to spend between $300 and $400 on a dinner once a week. That is not a reality. That's not even gonna be that'll be for a lot of men. That's gonna be breaking their pockets for real. Like
Yeah.
I tell you all the data and statistics all the time. So that's not even a reality. But
Yeah, it's
okay,
not a reality for everybody. And I think somebody
right.
was saying like for a first date, I think, okay, based on your socioeconomic, status, if you have it like that, chances are you're going to be surrounded by people who have it like that. I don't know too many of us who are in a certain class who are digging in the lower level. So if you're encountering somebody who can't afford you, what does that say about you?
If you say that if you're encountering someone that can't afford you, the
Yeah,
problem
I
is
mean,
these women want men to be able to like provide for them. Thank you for the gifts, June. Thank you for everyone sending gifts. These women want people that to provide for them what they can't even provide for themselves. That's the thing though.
mhm.
Because if you could really provide these things that you're saying that you want out of men for yourself, why would you be so pressed about it?
Yeah, I mean, what
Worry
they
about
say about me, they say, oh, there's Professor Sergi, there's Sergi the researcher, there's Sergi who's over case management, there's Sergi who's in a relationship. That's what they say about me. There's Sergi who got some money who could buy her own food. But I mean, I think sometimes we get too caught up in, okay, this is the first date, you're gonna, spend all of this money. Yeah, some of us get to go on expensive dates. But what I'm saying is, don't let that be your deal breaker. Doesn't mean you'll never have an expensive date if that's what y'all, all that you're worried about. But get to know the person. Get to know them, and then if that's what your focus is, put yourself in the places where you can encounter those people who are going to take you on the expensive dates. It's that simple.
but Sergi, as a man, Sergi, if I literally met you like last week, I met you last Friday, I met you at the club or the lounge somewhere, and I got your contact information, and we done we done like texted 2 times since then, and the
Hmm.
conversation was good, and I obviously found you physically attractive. That's why I got your contacts. Why,
Hmm.
as a woman, do you have such high expectations for the first date in the first place? I don't even know you. Why do you want to go to the steakhouse? Why do you want to go to hibachi? Why does it? Why do you want to get all dolled up and sexy and smell good for a man that you don't even know for real that bad? Like, why are you having such high expectations off the rip? I don't even know you. You don't know me. You don't even know if you like me for real. And I damn sure know if I like you for real. So why are you expecting that?
I think dating now is a little bit different. Well, yeah, if you meet somebody at the club or something like that, chances are you're still gonna maybe exchange numbers. You're gonna have conversations.
First
I
impression.
think people are basing those interactions off of what value you see in a person, right? So of course people are going to align like, okay, does someone see enough value in you to take you to a date that's going to have some standards to it, right? So, of course, people feel like, well, if you drive me to the McDonald's parking lot, you must not see too much value. You're not approaching me as someone who cares about how I view you or the value of this date. I know that's how people see it, but it's all about what your interactions are. Is this a second date? Is this your second encounter of this person? That might have some bearing. Have you been having phone conversations over some time and this is really not your first real interaction? That
Right,
may have some bearing too. It's all situational, it's all individualistic. But I'm saying, as far as from my personal standpoint and how I engage, man, it's going to be some conversation. And it could be some time before we get to the first date. Okay. We may have a certain comfort level. I'm 42. So my value is a little bit different than somebody who's going to be 20. They may be more, it's like I said, I've been married before. I've done all of that. I've lived that life. And now I've gotten to the point where I see what I value in a man and what's important to me and overall what's going to matter in the end. That's
bro.
all.
Sergi, all these people talking about first impressions and that you're right about, age and stuff like that, but okay, at the end of the day, I still don't know you. I don't like you like that. So if you think I'm supposed to like go all out to leave a first impression on you, someone that I don't know, someone that I don't even know if I really like yet, like you should be okay with going to the you woman. I'm talking to you women in the chat right now. Y'all should be okay with going to Wendy's and getting a 4 for 4. Y'all should be okay with going to Chick-fil-A and sitting outside and getting to know each other. Shoot, y'all should be cool with just going to for a walk around the lake. That's my thing. Why do y'all think,
Live
bro?
at
Why
your
do y'all think
standard.
that? Why do y'all think y'all should be at Fogo de Chao on the first date or Kobe? Why? Like, that's what I'm trying to understand. Why do y'all really think that? We'll listen. We'll let's move on because I don't want us to get
Oh,
stuck
okay.
on that. But that's what I'm trying to figure out. Why do y'all really think like? Why do y'all think y'all so special?
Now you got what it got to think is special. Now we ain't gonna say.
I'm not saying that you're not special, but like you really have it made up in your head that every first date that I go on, bro, he needs to be taking me to a place like this. What? Why? Who are you? Because you're a woman?
Uh-huh. I mean, I've never
Okay.
had a man ask me to no fast food restaurant, but I mean, sometimes just having that attitude of, well, I can't do this, it might be why you don't have a man.
Okay,
I
sir.
don't
So
know.
let's put it like this
Oh,
then. Y'all
okay.
tap that screen. Tap that screen. Let's put it like this. So what if I fake the funk on the first date then? What if I take you to the
Mhm.
steakhouse? What if I take you to hibachi? But in all reality, I'm really not having it like that. That's not gonna be a regular thing. And that's the thing with these girls. They think they've like, oh man, he took me here. So they thinking that okay, he must really have it like this. This must be what it's gonna be on the regular. No, he could just be faking the funk. So what if he's faking the funk? Then what?
You can fake the funk and be taking you somewhere expensive all the time. If many women in the chat, if you've dated a wealthy man, you already know they can spend all kinds of money every time they see you. That don't mean he's any good. So you can still be lousy. You can still be faking the funk, acting like he's a good man. So I mean, like again, that's all subjective. It's about where your values are, what's important to you. That's all.
Okay. So would you want a man you met on a dating app to move into your house within 6 months?
I wouldn't have him move into my house, but if we met, we connected, we decided that's where our relationship was going to go, we would have something that we would invest in together.
So even after 6 months, even if like y'all was going strong for these first 6 months,
Yeah.
you would consider it.
Would I consider moving in? Yeah. I mean, 6 months, that's just
Even
the
even
time.
if you met him on a dating app.
If I met him on a date, well, see, I'm not going straight from the dating app to marriage. That's where we go. I don't have that kind of a time limit. I mean, 6 months to a year, it happens. It can work. I wouldn't rush it. Like I wouldn't say, "Well, here's 6 months. We should be there, and let's do it." But I think it's about where you are within that interaction. If you feel like you know that person, what your chemistry is, what your connection is, if it takes you there, that's fine. But I wouldn't be like, I'm gonna move you into my house. I wouldn't do that. I just that dynamic. I've seen that happen, and that don't work. You should build together. Get
Okay.
something together. Uh huh.
So does a man who's been divorced for 10 years, he's currently dating 5 women while he's talking to you. He moved in with you after he met you on the dating app in 6 months, and he had his friend buy his engagement ring that he proposed to you with. Does that signal red flag to you?
Yeah. I feel like if your friend has to buy the ring, no, that shouldn't happen. I think either you're trying to do something, of course, out of your realm, out of your ability. You shouldn't be living beyond your means. That's just not good financial literacy if that's what we're doing. Because clearly, if you had the money, you would be able to get it yourself. So I think there would need to be a discussion. Most people, I mean, yeah, you have those people who surprise, their fiance, but for a lot of people, they go and they actually figure out what rings they want. So you should understand
Right.
price points. You should understand what you can afford as a couple because we're coming into this together. So yeah, we need to start having that money conversation. You don't have to, even if it's something I want, then don't waste your money on getting the ring. You can get it later if that's what it is. But to have somebody have to buy it, nah.
Okay. Is your and this is pertaining to you specifically, Sergi. Is your respect tolerance level and love for a man for sale?
No.
So you're saying that you can't be bought.
Mm-mm.
So you're telling me that you going so man A works the fries at McDonald's full time, and
Mm-hmm.
he works the fries at McDonald's full time, and then he waits tables. He's a bartender at some bar in his city like Friday to Sunday night. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and he make like $17. He make like $16 an hour doing the fries, and then obviously the bartender he make like $2 an hour, and everything else is tips. And then you got this other man. He works in corporate America, and he makes $90,000 a year. Um, so you're telling me that you're gonna have the same base level of respect for both of those men, and you're gonna have the same tolerance level for both of those men.
So my tolerance level and my respect is not going to be based on a person's income anyway. Um, it's just going to be based upon that person's one character. As far as finances, that is such a fluid thing anyway. You can be doing really well sometimes, and you can be doing not so well other times. There are a lot of people who appear to have money and are really broke, and you have some people who are operating at lower incomes who have immaculate credit and can expand on that. They have a lot of possibilities in their life. They can do so many things. They're just not at that place right now. So I believe you don't necessarily go at somebody based upon their potential, but I would not judge somebody just based upon their economic standing at that point. I came from a space where I was in poverty at one point in time. And it took me some time to figure out what I wanted to do and get situated and get grounded and get stable. So I would never look at a person as though your value or your respect should be based on what you have right now, right? Because that's not my situation now, you know. But I had to grow into what I'm doing now, and I had to go through, those rough times. You know how it is, and social work and all these things. But I was able to work my way up and get into spaces where I'm able to be very financially stable and I'm comfortable. So I don't look at it like that, and I wouldn't necessarily judge somebody just based upon that. So yeah, if you're driven, you may not have the highest income. You may not make more money than me, but if I have a connection with you, if we work well, if we have chemistry, and you're driven like me, and you're growing, I'm cool with that.
that's that's great, Sergi. But Sergi, that's you. That's
Mm-hmm.
not a lot of these women. A lot of these women is like I've been saying, like other men have been saying, it's not about that. It is about where are you right now? What do you have right now, and what can you possibly like do for me, like going forward and in the like. It's not about, like you said, how money can fluctuate and how someone can be down bad right now, but they can be up next year, or they could be up right now and be down next year. But if you're, like you said, you care about the person's characteristics and their personality, you care about who they are as a human being. If a woman, if that's not what she's like, focusing on, if she's just focusing on the materialistic stuff and what he has and what he's able to do, then she's not even going to be thinking, having the mindset that you have. And a lot of women don't have the mindset that you have. So, and
Mhm.
like, and like, even like talking about that, like this, they, all these women here talking about first impressions. How are you looking? That's what I'm talking about, faking the funk. Like, they, even the appearance matters to them. So you at the bar, and one dude just got on a t-shirt and some jeans, and I don't know, a pair of forces, but this other dude, he got on like a cardigan, and he got on like some necklace he got from K Jewelers, and he got on like a little fake watch or something, and like, it's just how, but the guy that got on the t-shirt and the jeans, he can have way better credit. He can have more money and be making significantly more money. But it's like, oh, this guy is looking better than this guy, so he must have more than this other guy. They just got it all messed up, Sergi. They got it all messed up.
I think some people do, but you know that is not the majority of women. Most women are very, very nurturing. They can if there's a man. I say it like this. I think sometimes there's this misperception that because a woman does not listen to some people, will say men, she doesn't listen to any of them. What I've found is that women listen to the men that they're interested in, or men who are falling within the categories of the men that they're interested in. And that's okay. Just like sometimes men connect with the women that align with what they're interested in. So I think sometimes we just have to look at it as though, okay, this person just does not agree with what I'm saying, but it does not mean that they're not open to anybody because we all have different standards. We all have different wants and desires and expectations. So we're not all, going to agree, and we don't have to. It doesn't make me wrong. It doesn't make you wrong. We're all going to live our own lives anyway. So I'm not going to necessarily tell you what you have to do because it works for me, but it may not work for you. It doesn't mean that you're failing, and it doesn't mean that you're not going to get what you want because you might want something completely different.
But Sergi, you said a lot of them like listen to people that they're interested in. There has to be something that's drawing your interest in a person, right?
There has to be something, and it's going to look different for everybody. I mean, we all know that we have, even if we may have some commonalities and our standards or our goals or expectations, they're still not all the same. They're still going to look different just based upon our lived experiences and who we are. We're all unique. So I think while we may have some common ground on, let's say that marriage could be cool, but even something as simple as marriage that we like to generalize on, not everybody even wants that. That's what I'm saying. Like, we have to understand that there are some differentiations there. And just because a person may not align with what we think is right doesn't mean that they're wrong or they're not going to get what they want because just what we want is just not what they want.
Sergi, all these black women, not in the chat, but on these slides, all they this man said, no pressure to take her on fancy dates or expensive restaurants, just good old conversations and alignment with our goals. All the black women on these slides, Sergi, are talking about money. Let's just look at it, Sergi. I
Hmm.
always tell
Okay.
you guys, if you guys are trying to tell me that it's not about what it's about, why are all the women saying the same thing, and it's all like coming back to one central thing? God forbid a man posts me online to tell the world he got me at a discount. Why would he purposely do the bare minimum? Why wouldn't you want to take her on a fancy date? They are lazy and cheap and don't want to spend money on women. They want the most they can get and at the least amount of money and effort. Sergio, you cannot make this look nothing but conversations in alignment with our goals. Blessed Father. Sergio, you cannot you cannot make this, you can't make this stuff up. And again, you can't tell me who any of these people are because these are average everyday people. These are average everyday women all talking about the same exact thing. So
Hmm.
is it just a coincidence or what?
Well, yeah, I think with this particular situation, and I think people in the comments were alluding to it, it's about effort. So you can have a really good date and a date that shows that you put some energy and thought into it. That doesn't necessarily have to be expensive, but you can tell when somebody has done something just like, here, take this. So I think I think it may be more effort, and sometimes, unfortunately, people align effort with the amount of money. And then we also have to be honest. Well, most people like, a nice date every once in a while. And I think there is something that lends to when we think about how you view your roles in relationships. So again, that is something that can be different for everybody. But if I view like the man as the leader, if I'm really vetting somebody because I'm looking for a husband, right? I'm going to look at how you move, how you value me. That's going to be something that is going to be shown in the first impression. And it doesn't necessarily have to be based in the cost of the date, but just how your attitude is towards that date in and of itself. So I think that may elicit some of those responses, but like I said, everybody's going to look
So
at it
Sergi,
differently.
as a man, if the man is the one that is always having to, approach women and initiate conversations and do all that, so as a woman, Sergi, if you value me, then why don't you take me on a date? Why don't you start pursuing men and getting their contact information and start taking them on a date and start showing that you value them?
She may. That's the thing. And I think any man who is really dealing with a good woman, they know. Okay, you may, take her out that first day or, whatever, show her the time. But if that woman cares about you, if you treat her well and she is into you, she is you don't even have to ask for that kind of stuff. If it's something that you enjoy, she might take you out. She might say, baby, I got it. She'll surprise you with something. She'll pamper you. That's what women do. If you allow a woman to be a woman, be chivalrous, let her be soft, let her be feminine. You'll get that.
Yes, yes, Sergi, but I'm just saying there's women out here that dating is a sport, Sergi. Sergi, you go out tomorrow, and you know what? Because like I don't want to say these men don't have respect for themselves, but because there's these men that think that, oh, I have to spend money and I have to make this first impression and I have to do X, Y, and Z. You know, it makes the man that doesn't want to do that because he doesn't really need to do that. It makes a lot of these women feel like those men like aren't worth it. Yeah, you're right. When a woman likes you, she'll do stuff like that. But like woman, like it's dating, like going out on dates, Sergi, is a sport for a lot of women. Like these women be going
Hmm.
on 3-4 dates a week. So Sergi, they're not trying to genuinely get to know all three, four of those men. There's women even on this platform, just on social media in general, Sergi, that their whole thing is, I'm gonna like, tell y'all how all these dates went, and I'm gonna tell y'all about this guy and this guy and this guy. So it's not it's not really what you think it is, Sergi.
I mean, I get it. I think on both sides, both men and women have experienced being, becoming jaded. Everybody has experienced the bad, right? So you have on one side, yeah, it's the trust. And I'll say it's on both sides. Of course, men don't want to spend money because they don't trust. What is this? Are you using me? Are you trying to play me? Are you trying to get in my pockets? I get it.
Right.
If you've experienced that, that's going to be a normal apprehension. Just like with women, well, okay, I don't. How can I trust you to do it? Leave me to do this. You don't even want to spend money on a date. It's valid. The concerns are valid on both sides. But what we don't want to allow to happen is these negative past experiences to dictate your future. There has to be some give somewhere. We can't all be stuck. That's why we have these conversations and we see them cycling over and over and over because we're still stuck in that. And that's just going to be an individual process. You got to heal from past stuff, right? You can't sit there like for women, we can't because we had somebody who was no good or tried to play us or well, we couldn't trust them. We can't bring that onto the new person. We can't bring that into our futures or we're going to be stuck there and we're going to keep encountering the same thing. And I think it's the same for men. That them other women may use you, but you have to learn from that. Look at the character that was that you were dealing with before. Pay attention to those red flags, just like women have to do, and do better. Learn from it. Engage different people. Learn and just enjoy yourself. You don't want to have to live with that and always be worried. That's not fun. Who wants to date like that? You got to worry about everything. Just
It's
have a good
not
time.
worrying though, Sergi. It's
That
just
date is not going to
acknowledging
kill
and
you,
recognizing
Noble.
the game for what it is. As a woman, if you know that after these 2 hours, after these 2-3 hours, that you first of all, if you're not even physically attracted to this man, don't go out on a date with him. Because if you're not physically attracted to this man, after these 2-3 hours, you're not going to want to do anything. You're not going to want to have anything to do with him in the first place. So don't try to extract him of his time. Don't try to extract him of his money. and get a free meal or get a free experience. As a man, if your sole purpose of taking this woman out on a date is to sleep with her, then you shouldn't even be sleeping. You shouldn't be taking her on a date on the first place. But
Mhm.
that's what's going on now, Sergi. So the
It
guy,
is.
there's two people across the table, and one guy is trying to buy some coochie, and then the other girl is trying to, like, get a free meal or get a free experience out of this guy. So it's like that's what's going on out here. So this is, you could talk about the whole experience and this, that, and the third, but that's really what's going on.
But we have to refocus our energy, right? Because it's very easy to find some of the most rare or troublesome or sometimes toxic examples of how things can go left, right? There are so many good, strong interactions in dating amongst Black people, in relationships amongst Black people, and marriage. Yes, we have people who throw out all the stats and the numbers and all of that, but a lot of things is just okay. Yes, you have some examples of people moving forward who probably aren't ready to date or ready for relationships. But at some point, we have to try to identify some true solutions, right, for our own individual concerns. So if you know that the past keeps rearing its ugly head, and you keep struggling with women who are only superficial, that means that you maybe have to take a step back, do some introspective work, and reevaluate those standards and what you're really looking for in a person. Because if you keep encountering the same woman in a different body, at some point you have to have accountability and know that the problem is me.
All right, Sergi, let me ask you the last
Right?
question.
Mm-hmm.
So, Sergi, do you expect and or want a man to spend money on you while you're dating? If so, how frequently and to what level should he be spending money on you?
Okay. So I don't know. Like I said, I'm older and I've experienced the gifts and all of that stuff. I don't have an expectation of this amount of money. I just feel like it's always good when you know a person, you know what they like, you surprise them with the things that they like. And I am the type of person that does believe in you don't wait for the holidays or these whatever occasions. If you see something or if you think of something that's going to be something that your partner enjoys, yeah, you get it. You know, so that's how I look at it.
But do you need to be? Am I lagging, guys? But Sergi, do you need to be at the steakhouse at least 2 times a month?
Here we go
Um,
with this thing. No, but I cook, right?
okay, does he need to pay? Does he need to be paying for you to get your nails done, your hair done? You
I got
know,
locks, no, but I can do my own hair.
okay. So he doesn't need to be. Does he need to be paying all your bills?
Does my who? My husband, my boyfriend, the
Your
man I'm
boyfriend,
dating?
the man you're dating.
Mm-mm. That's not an expectation. Now, just from lived experience in relationships, when I wasn't married and I was dating the men that I was with, yeah, they offered to pay bills or whatever. It wasn't a requirement. I've been gainfully employed for a while. I can pay my own bills, but if there's something that he wants to do, he can. I wouldn't require it. But I ain't gonna be like, oh, don't you pay that bill? Nah.
Okay, Sergi,
Uh-huh.
could you be with a minimalist though? Could you be with a man that he has it, but he not really trying to spend it all the time. He's not really he's not really even interested in, like, he's more so interested in doing stuff that doesn't revolve around like money. Like he wanna just watch Netflix and HBO. He wants to go fishing. He wants to go walking around a lake. He wants to do stuff that really don't involve money. Could you be with a guy like that long term?
No, because I mean that means that we're just not compatible. Because I do like fishing and I like nature. I like free stuff, but I also like to travel. I like to do things that also cost money. So I think it's just about again making sure that whoever you're with, you're compatible with. So I'm not going to be like, well, you're wrong for living that way. No, that's how you choose to live, and you have every right to do it. We only got one life. That just means I have to find a man who I'm compatible with, and we have to align in that way and have that chemistry.
All right. Okay, so Sergi, let me ask you, Sergi podcast,
Uh-uh.
Sergi, 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 do you think a lot of these young women, Sergi, do you think they care about? Do you think they really are interested? Do you think they're more so interested in the man's personality and his characteristics, or what he has and what he's able to do? What do you honestly think a lot of like women my age, a lot of women under 30? Because again, Sergi, you always we all when we be talking, you say, it's the people on social media that's the loudest, but these are the regular people that's on social media. It's people that's in these comments that, they're the ones making these posts and commenting and saying these things. And we don't know who they are because they're just average everyday people. So if they're showing us every day, Sergi, that that's what they want, that's what they value, what do you think it is?
Okay, so I think you're going to always have people who are just loud, whether it be in your comments or on social media, and they're going to voice their opinions. But again, it doesn't even represent everybody that's on here. There are some people who are only going to watch you from outside the screen door and never comment, and they may have a completely different perspective. But I think as far as age, that's not necessarily a determinant of maturity. And I think we also have to be able to allow people some grace, right? So when I was 20, no, I wasn't necessarily the most mature. And I had some things to learn, and I just had my own ways. And I wasn't sitting there trying to listen to everybody tell me what to do. So I think we have to allow people to also live and learn. Like there is just a part of life where, yeah, you have to have those lived experiences, learn who you are, learn what you want, and do your thing. You're not going to be able to have your best life by doing what everybody tells you what to do either. You still have to be able to make your own choices and operate within your own desires. So I say, yes, be young, and live your life and have those experiences so you can know what it is that you desire, not what people are telling you to desire.
I appreciate you, Sergi, but before you go, I want to let you know that someone in the comments just said, we tried dating personality, it didn't work, and you've been on here when I've been talking to women about, when women have told me directly, like, dating potential, that's out of here. Um, there's nothing there. You don't benefit from dating a man based on his potential, and it's not about building with a man because if you are building with a man in their eyes, you are building a man. So when this man gets to like where he wants to be or where you want him to be, he's gonna leave you. He's gonna cheat on you. He's gonna go get with a younger woman. He's gonna get. So I just want to let you know that someone in the comments did just say that. A woman just said that in the comments, and now they're
Yeah,
agreeing with what I'm saying. Look,
yeah.
you
I
can't make this
mean,
stuff up, Sergi.
people are going to have their perspectives, and I think
They
a
do.
lot of people's opinions are going to be pulled from some bit of truth, right? Based on what they've seen or maybe what they've experienced in life or seen other people go through. So I don't try to diminish people's perspectives or opinions on those things. But again, I say you're encountering people at different stages of life, and I think there are some points of life where it's okay to make mistakes. You're not going to get everything right. Like I said, when I was 20, I had no problem. Like, okay, we can start from the bottom. We can build. We got that kind of time. That's how you think when you're younger. But yeah, you may meet somebody in their 30s or 40s they're gonna be a little bit more rigid, right? Because there's more to lose. And we be looking at it like the closer you get to that 40, oof, I'm running out of time. That's how it feels. So you may not be as apt to be open to just start over or meet somebody who is just in struggle
Wow.
and trying to build at that age. And we have to be able to respect that in people because it's a valid concern to have. But it doesn't mean that if you're struggling, you don't deserve anybody. I just feel like you got to learn how to prioritize what's important. Learn how to build yourself, be your best self for whoever it is you choose to be with, and be okay with that. You
Rashad,
know,
what's up, Rashad? Sergi, someone literally in the comments just said, "Why would you want your woman to struggle with you?" So that's the thing, Kyrie Queen. Y'all are on the same socioeconomic level, but for you to date a man on the same socioeconomic level as you, if he's making 40,000 and you making 40,000, he's struggling, but you not struggling. So even though you're making 40,000, you need to be dating a man that's making 100,000. You can't date a man that's making 40,000 and put y'all 40,000 together and have 80,000, or y'all both making 40,000 and y'all work your way up and get more skills and get more credentials and increase your opportunity to earn more money because that's what it is. So that's what it is now. You know, if you're making 40,000, you want a man, you want to be dating a man that's making 100,000. If she's making 100,000, she need to be dating a man that's making 200,000. She can't date a man on the same socioeconomic status as her. Otherwise, she's struggling. You can't make this. You cannot make this stuff up. You have people like Sergi that come up here and very intellectual and say intelligent stuff, but then y'all just Y'all just say exactly what I'm saying in the comments.
It's okay,
Most
Lolo.
women date down. Most women do not date down. Women want a man that they feel is at the very least on the same level as them, but they prefer a man that is on the that they feel is on a higher level than them.
So
But
I think
Sergi, thank you so much. Go ahead, sir.
no, I was just gonna say I think we don't want to mistake. Like I said, if you're into the traditional or somewhat traditional roles, you may want somebody who can be a leader, somebody who can be a guide to you. You want somebody who can be the head of your home. How you're faring in life is going to be a determinant of if you're in a position to be a leader, right? And so if you just can't get your life straight, how can you lead anything or be the head of a household or a family? So I think sometimes it's not so much just about the money piece, but what does that represent? If you're always in a state of struggle, well, yeah, that's scary. If I'm saying I'm looking for the person to lead my home, yeah, that's going to be a concern. So I think sometimes we have to understand where these concerns or where these ideals may stem from. Now you will have somebody that some people that are just looking for a come up and strictly just about how can I get this person's money, but I don't think that's everybody. I think we just have to sometimes pick it apart to get to the root of it and understand why that ideal exists.
All right, Sergi. I appreciate you. I always appreciate you
All
coming
right.
here.
Thanks for
You have a
having me.
good evening.
You
All right.
too.
I'm on to bring all